Hey everyone, and welcome to my review of 2025 for Sonic Forces Speed Battle. I'll be going over every major update, new character release, and balance patch that happened in 2025, and at the end, I'll talk about how I feel about the current state of Sonic Forces Speed Battle here in 2026. Just like my last recap for 2024, I'll be tracking how many balanced characters we have in a row. And each time a broken character releases, that streak is broken. And yes, I know this video is like super late. I had it planned for the beginning of January, but then I got sick right at the new year, which sucked. And then I went back to college, so I've of course had that being my priority over other stuff. But now I've got the time, so I'm finishing this video up and getting it out. Hopefully it's out within the week that I said it would be out. But anyways, let's get started. So, the year's just started. And we always start with a nice, chill character, right? So what did Hardlight give us this time? Movie Super Shadow. Can't even start the year with a balanced character now, can we? Movie Super Shadow has got to be one of, if not the most dumb characters Hardlight has ever released. He's on par with Original Infinite in terms of how powerful this character was. They gave a super a mini boost. And let's be honest, it wasn't a mini boost. It had the power of a full boost while also doing AoE, and it hit through shields so you couldn't block it. He also had 55 starting rings, while all the other supers only had 40 to 45 starting rings, meaning he could keep up with normal characters at the start of the race. Everyone used this character because there wasn't really a character that countered him. Every race was just a gamble from the second item box. The first item box, you get your super form guaranteed, and then the second item box is a 50-50. You either get Chaos Blast, you hit everyone, and you win, or you get Falling Flames, you get Chaos Blasted by another Movie Super Shadow, and you lose. In an all-Movie Super Shadow game, there was not really a way to come back if you didn't get the lead right at the start by Chaos Blasting everyone. Unless the Movie Super Shadow that was in the lead somehow messed up so badly that you guys could catch up. I managed to get my first 7K in this season, and I only did it because I knew it would be super easy and I thought it would be cool. After this season, I didn't ever really use Movie Super Shadow again in Ranked. Funny thing, I have a star runner for this character. I think it's like 20 battles that I got at the start of the season after Movie Super Shadow's release, and I never did it. I just kept it because I thought it was funny to just keep that mission and never do it. Nowadays, Movie Super Shadow is still a prominent character you'll run into. He's been nerfed twice, but neither of the nerfs were really a proper nerf. They just sort of toned him down slightly each time. He's not nearly as powerful as he used to be, but he's still a very powerful character and by far the best super. Now we move on to February. At this point, Movie Super Shadow hasn't been nerfed, of course, and he's dominating the game, unmatched by any other character. And we're still getting new characters, so our next new character is Blossom Amy. Blossom Amy was extremely overshadowed by Movie Super Shadow. She didn't really get a chance to shine. I mean, you could go watch my commentary over her and see I spend a lot of time complaining about Movie Super Shadow in that video instead of actually talking about the character, which is funny. Blossom Amy was definitely a powerful character, mainly after the level 12 upgrade that increased the duration of her mini boost. Due to Movie Super Shadow, she didn't get to shine until much later on. I'll still count her as a broken release though, since later on she definitely became a problem. This month we also got a new feature, that being Prize Run. It was useless. I don't really have much to say about it. Now we move on to March. Movie Super Shadow still hasn't been nerfed and continues to terrorize the game. Seriously, can they just nerf this guy already? Anyways, our next new character is Bassist Blaze. Funny thing about Bassist Blaze, in her showcases from the Hardlight ambassadors, her boost had a 14-second duration without any upgrades. So naturally, everyone panicked because that is literal insanity. Luckily, the devs confirmed that that was a bug, and on release her boost wouldn't be nearly as long. So, Bassist Blaze released, and her boost was about the same duration as DJ Vector and Punk Zaz's boost, which is still long, but not extremely insane like 14 seconds. Bassist is another character that, like Blossom Amy, didn't get to shine in the meta until later on due to movie Super Shadow. I'll still count this as a broken release as well, since later on she again became a problem. And then, our next new character after Bassist is Ninja Espio. Ninja Espio introduced the grapple type mini boost to the game, which will become an issue on a later character which we'll get to later. And once again, we have another victim of movie Super Shadow. He's definitely a strong character, but I wouldn't necessarily call him meta, so I'll call him our first balanced character. And then finally, near the end of March, we got our first balance patch of the year. The main notable thing from this patch is that they finally nerfed movie Super Shadow. They gave Chaos Blast a speed and damage reduction, while also adjusting movie Super Shadow's starting rings to be in line with the other supers 40 to 45. This didn't stop him from still being a very powerful character, but it helped us finally be able to use some other characters to stop him. Next, we move on to April. And movie Super Shadow has finally gotten a nerf, but still remains strong in the meta. But at least there are more characters that can compete against him now. Our next new character is Unicorn Night Cream. They took Unicorn Cream and gave her a shield. Wow. Unicorn Night Cream is nothing crazy. Her only new item is her shield that reflects damage back at opponents if they hit her while it's active. Not much else to say about this character, she's balanced. Then our next new character is Sinbad the Sailor from Sonic and the Secret Rings. Really cool to see some more Secret Rings representation outside of Darkspine Sonic. Sinbad's on release was, well, bad. He had two new items, Water Wheel, which is a reskin of Red Dragon from Dragon Hunter Lancelot, and Riptide, which is a new trap. It covers all 4 lanes, and if you're hit by it, it sends you 2 lanes to the left and locks you in that lane for a short time. Yeah, getting hit by the trap does basically nothing. It's just like a minor inconvenience on its own. So Sinbad will add another balanced character to the counter. I hope they buff him though. Up next is May. Last month's new characters didn't really do anything to the meta. Maybe this month's characters will be more impactful? Our next new character is Extreme Gear Shadow. Extreme Gear Shadow reintroduces trail hitboxes on projectiles to the game. His Electric Rush is a reskin of Slipstream Whirlwind from Extreme Gear Sonic, but with an electric hitbox on the trail. His boost air dash is similar to Home Run, but in the air. On release, he was a good character, but nothing super overpowered. I'll add him to the balanced counter, though he sees a major change later on along with Extreme Gear Sonic that changes this. Next up is our first new super rare character since 2022, Marine. Marine has to have one of the worst release events in the game. They put her in alternating missions with Supersonic and Burning Blaze, meaning if you wanted Marine cards, you had to do 3 missions to get back to her. It was so dumb. Supersonic and Burning Blaze should have been in the bonus missions, to be honest. But anyways, she had 2 new items, Hydrokinesis, which is similar to Gamma's Missile Launch, and SS Supermarine, which is similar to Series Knuckles' Chopper Boost, but without invincibility. Marine is yet another balanced character. The final thing that happened in May is that we got another balance patch. The notable things from this patch being that movie Super Shadow got another small nerf that did basically nothing. He still remains a strong character. They also tried buffing Sinbad, but it didn't do a whole lot. And then Blossom Amy and Basis Blaze received nerfs. But the biggest thing from this patch is that Infinite got a massive boost buff. This rocketed Infinite back into being a top tier character since this boost no longer drains all your rings. Now we move on to June. Last month had another round of balanced characters. Let's see how this month goes. It's Sonic's birthday month after all. The next new character is Sir Lamrak, the long-awaited final knight of the Round Table from Sonic and the Black Knight. On release, Lamrak was sadly a bad character. His 2 items did baby damage, although the projectile had a pretty cool ricochet mechanic. It's a shame they didn't do Lamrak justice after waiting so long for him to be added. At least he wasn't broken. We've got a pretty good streak of balanced characters going so far. Surely they keep this going, right? Right? Neo, Metal, Sonic. The highly requested character joins the game and takes over the meta. You remember Chaos Blast from movie Super Shadow, right? What if we took that and made it an actual boost? That's exactly what they did. Except this time it did electric damage. And his new projectile was crazy. It gives a mini boost and shoots a beam in front of him, and he can move around with the beam to hit everyone within range. Very annoying meta. Just getting constantly zapped. Basically, you wanted to stay in the back for as long as possible while holding a boost, then just boost past everyone to win. Yep, this breaks the balanced character streak. With Neo, they also introduced a new feature, that being boss battle missions. These are special missions for challengers that give bigger card rewards for completion. They could be as easy as beating the bot, finishing in at least 3rd place one time, or as hard as beat the bot finishing in 1st place 5 times. It's a pretty good feature. Now, we have reached July. Neo Metal Sonic has taken over the meta. Everyone is constantly getting zapped. Surely it can't get any worse, right? Sheriff Sonic. Remember when I said Ninja Espio's grapple type mini boost would come back into play on another character and become a problem? Well, here it is. And that's not the only thing busted about this character. So, Lasso has an extremely buggy hitbox. You can even get hit when you're a bit behind the Sheriff. Sometimes the Lasso will even be straight up invisible on your screen and you'll still get hit. Then there's the boost. Speedster's Saloon. What an insane boost. It creates doors that give you a boost and damage your opponents. It's fast, long, can be stacked, and has an instant hitbox on the doors while doing insane damage. He's also got lockup from Detective Vector, which was never really an issue until now. Combined with Sheriff's other items, it's one monster of a trap. I would say balanced character streak broken, but there wasn't really a streak to begin with here. Surely this can't get any worse, right? Here comes the next balance patch, and oh boy, this one's something. It's a two-parter. Part 1 is a bunch of unnecessary movie character buffs no one asked for. This made Movie Knuckles, who was already a strong character, even stronger. At least they gave Neo a decent nerf in Part 1, and then Part 2 came. Oh man. There's only one real notable thing about Part 2. The Extreme Gear buffs. They turbo buffed Slipstream Whirlwind and Electric Rush. Now their mini boosts were the most powerful mini boosts in the game. Rocketing Extreme Gear Sonic and Extreme Gear Shadow to join the growing meta. Now we enter August. Neo Metal Sonic, Sheriff Sonic, and the Extreme Gears are dominating the meta. Movie Super Shadow is still pretty common too, of course. This guy never really goes away. Our next new character is Extreme Gear Super Sonic. Extreme Gear Super Sonic is a very weird super. He's got an AoE attack like Chaos Blast, but it doesn't give him a mini boost. And he's got an Auto Mine Trap with a new mechanic. It pushes opponents backwards when they get hit. It's pretty cool. But overall, Extreme Gear Super Sonic is a pretty meh super. Probably one of the worst supers because he has no projectile. I think they should have made it so that when you slam down with Extreme Gear Slam, it launches a shockwave forwards. That way, he can hit people in front of him. At least he's not broken, I guess. We've just started our balanced character streak again. Hopefully it'll keep going, right? Outlaw Shadow. Another insane character joins the game. And the worst part is, he was balanced in the showcases from the Hardlight Ambassadors, but they super buffed him right before his release. He's got a boomerang which steals rings, has insane pickups, is hard to see, and it does a lot of damage. His boost is fast and long while stealing rings as well. Outlaw Shadow jumps right into the meta with Sheriff Sonic. The streak is immediately broken again. And then up next in August, we had a change to stats. Now stats are out of 100 instead of out of 10. It was a pretty meh change, didn't really do anything except make stats really confusing. Now we enter September. The meta is still ruled by Sheriff Sonic, Outlaw Shadow, the Extreme Gears, and Neo Metal Sonic. How will we start this month? At the start of this month, we get an announcement. A worrying announcement. Level 20 will be arriving on September 18th, giving us new levels to go for on characters past the previous cap of 16. This announcement sparked a lot of worry throughout the community, as it sounded like an awful, unnecessary change. But we just have to see how this would turn out. Next, we got the dash pad nerf. This change was so dumb. They changed the properties of dash pads to where that if you got hit, you couldn't interact with dash pads during the hit stun to regain speed. This also killed characters like Darkspine Sonic, my goat, and Thorn Rose, both of which used dash pads to nullify slowdowns on their items. Now, this was no longer possible, so the slowdown would cancel all your dash pad's speed, instead of the dash pad canceling the slowdown. This change just made getting hit on dash pads, especially triple dash pads, game-ending. What an awful change. The next new character is Gladiator Knuckles. Gladiator Knuckles is a pretty cool character. He's got an AoE item that shoots a long-range projectile, and a reskin of SS Supermarine for his boost. He's a good character at front-running, but his boost isn't the best for catching up. He once again starts our balanced character streak. Next up is Fairy Tikal, Tikal's first variant. She's a pretty nice character. She has a Chow Attack reskin with pickups, a flying boost with a new effect that changes obstacles into fake item boxes, and a reskin of Dread's Broadside. She's pretty annoying, but nothing crazy. Another balanced character. Now, it's September 18th. Level 20 is here. And oh boy, our worries were right. This update was a complete disaster. The new upgrades had insane costs in a game economy where it was already super hard to get level 16, especially for challenger characters. This has to be the worst update in Sonic Forces Speed Battle history. If you want to hear more of my thoughts on this update, I have a whole commentary video on it. I don't want to repeat everything I said there here. Now we have our next new character, straight out of Sonic Racing Crossworlds, Rival Sonic. Rival Sonic is an insane character. His projectile's pretty interesting. It locks onto someone and follows their movements until it gets close, then stops locking on and gives the opportunity to dodge it. The projectile's meh, but can be super annoying. Then there's his boost. Oh man, if you thought stacking was bad, here comes boost chaining. This boost has no timer for its duration, so you can just collect another boost before your boost even ends and start it, creating an endless chain of boosts until you hit first place. And his trap does devastating damage. What an insane character. Once again, the streak is broken. We're now in October. The meta has grown with the release of Rival Sonic. Surely there will be a balance patch soon to sort all this out, right? Our next new character is Phantom Rider, straight out of the IDW comics. Funny thing, in the showcases, he seemed pretty balanced. That was until people started using him and realized his trap has an instant hitbox. That's what shot him up into the meta alongside Rival Sonic. The fact that he had a trap that had an instant hitbox, moves backwards, blinds, and does a ton of damage made him very annoying to deal with. Another broken character. I still love him because IDW's peak though. Then our next new character is Cursed Samurai Infinite. Cursed Samurai Infinite is a pretty cool character. He ditches the Phantom effect from both Infinite and Warlock Infinite and substitute in his own new effect. When he hits someone with his projectile, he gives himself a small speed buff that lasts for about 10 seconds. Pretty awesome mechanic. He's a balanced character, starting up our streak again. One last thing I want to mention is the change to Challenger bots. They changed the trophies rewarded during Challenger bot races to be more forgiving. This created a crazy inflated season where everyone was reaching crazy heights never seen before. The first ever 8K was achieved by Ultra. I myself ended with 7.6K, completely shattering my previous record of 7K. What a crazy season. Now we're in November. The meta still remains the same as the last few months. Surely we'll get an impactful balance patch this month, right? Our next new character is Dragon Hunter Sonic. There's not a whole lot of note about this character. He's got 2 reskinned items and Dragon Flight. His projectile also gets guaranteed X3 pickups no matter the level. Another balanced character for the streak. Alongside Dragon Hunter Sonic's release, we finally got another balance patch. Surely this patch is super impactful and changes the meta, right? Nope. This patch gave some small baby nerfs to Sheriff, Outlaw, the Extreme Gears, and Rival, but didn't do anything to really solve the meta. Nothing changed really, and this was our last balance patch of the year. What a disappointment. We also got the announcement of another huge change. They were going to be adding Tier 11 to the game that required 7,500 trophies to reach, as well as changing the way Season Reset works. This time, the announcement didn't sound as awful as level 20. They actually gave us proper information on how this would work. We just had to wait till December 1st to see how this would turn out. We're now in December, the final month of the year. The meta has not changed at all, and there are no more balance patches in sight for this month. Let's see how they wrap up the year. First up, we have the Tier 11 update. This update's pretty alright. Adds some more rewards to chests overall and gives us a new goal to reach. If you want to hear more of my thoughts on this update, you can check out my commentary over it. I again don't want to repeat myself and spend too much time on this, but it was a pretty good change. Nothing too bad about the update. Then, they also reverted the dash pad nerf from September. Thank goodness, Dark Spine Sonic and Thorn Rose are saved. Our next new character is Doom Shadow from Shadow Generations. Over a year late to adding this character, but better late than never, I suppose. Doom Shadow is a powerful character. His boost mainly is long and has good speed while flying. The projectile is only good at close range. And his trap is a mini boost that acts similar to like Tail Strike from Tangle. He's a great character, but not super overpowered, so I'll go ahead and count him as balanced. Next up, we have Reindeer Knuckles, our Christmas character for the year. Very nice to get one this year since we didn't get one last year, because that's when the movie events were starting and we got like movie Shadow. Reindeer Knuckles is a pretty nice character. His projectile is similar to Blizzard Bomb, where when it explodes, it has an AoE where it freezes, and his boost does knockup damage. A nice balanced character. And now our final character of the year, Ragnarok Silver. Ragnarok Silver is a very annoying character. His projectile and trap are hard to hear and are very spammy. His boost is a reskin of Viking offense from Valhalla Surge, but it does freeze damage this time. He's a really powerful character, but not at the level of the meta, so he'll end the year off as a pretty balanced character. Well, that was everything major that happened in 2025 for Sonic Forces Speed Battle. What a year. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments. Overall, I'd say this year in terms of characters, not counting their items, was pretty hyped. We got some highly requested characters like Ninja Espio, Sir Lamorak, Neo Metal Sonic, etc. But in terms of balance, this year was awful. We started the year off with one of the worst metas we've ever seen in this game, and we kept getting more and more broken characters throughout the year. And the balance patches were few and far between, and they didn't really make many good nerfs this year. They still didn't even properly nerf the meta by the end of the year. The game is in a pretty bad state, and that even extends into 2026. Now, this is a little extra section, but I'd like to talk about my thoughts on the current state of Speed Battle as of right now, March of 2026. The game has kind of gotten to a point where I don't even want to play consistently like I used to. The new Tangle and Whisper variants were awesome for me because I'm an IDW fan, and I got level 20 cards for both of them, but after those events I kind of just lost my reason to play consistently again. The game's in a bad state, and we haven't gotten any balance patches yet this year. I'm hoping we'll get one this month, but we'll just have to see, because the meta is still the same as it was for the second half of last year. If anything, it's kind of gotten worse thanks to like characters like Riders Rouge. Every event just kind of feels the same, because they added bots to special events now, and originally it was only going to be for special release events, and that was fine, but they added it to the recaps too. I mean, I get it. It makes the characters much easier to get high levels on. Like, look at me, I got level 20 on 2 specials back to back, and it was pretty easy. But it makes the events kind of boring, you know? Just chest grind, chest grind, chest grind. I've also kind of just been struggling with video ideas during filler periods where we don't get new characters. I don't just want to throw gameplay videos together of random characters. I want to enjoy making the video and feel like it's something I really want to do. I've been playing this game for 8 years now, and throughout all the metas we've had over the years, I've still always found some enjoyment in this game, which is why I never quit. But now I don't feel the same. The game's kind of getting boring, and we haven't had a meta shift in like 7 or 8 months. I really just want event variety back, you know? And for the meta to change. Staying in the same meta for an extended period of time is never really fun. I think the game is at its best when the top characters are always changing. That way it doesn't get so boring where you're always racing the same, like, 8 characters every match. Don't worry though, I'm not quitting the game. But I'll definitely continue to play less until we see some sort of change. I'll just be playing other games I enjoy, like for example Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, Pokemon Unite, Pokemon TCG Pocket. I'll of course still be making speed battle videos, especially when new updates or characters release. If you have any suggestions for videos, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear you guys' ideas. Maybe I'll start party match videos up again. We'll see. Hopefully we'll see something change soon down the road, because otherwise this game's kind of going downhill. I mean, I guess it has been going downhill for a while, but it's never really been this boring to me, you know? Anyways, that'll do it for my 2025 review and my thoughts on the current state of the game. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more content in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next video.